people to overcome social anxiety and learn to play to their strengths so that they thrive in life. Really excited to do this live stream now. So the topic is inspired from a coaching session on Saturday. I was helping out a client of mine, Liam, and you can see Liam's testimonial on my YouTube channel. And one of Liam's fears is being treated badly in a social situation, having somebody try to push him around, be aggressive, be offhanded, be rude with him, and then him getting really angry and wanting to snap at that person. So how do you overcome this fear of being treated badly in social situations? The truth is that you can only get treated badly with your own consent. Let's play the situation out. Let's say that somebody is rude and they are angry when they're talking to you. As long as you're calm and classy and you don't react to that person, you can't look bad. As long as you handle yourself well, you're gonna look good in the eyes of most people. So don't let people walk all over you and bully you, but you don't have to be angry or aggressive back either. I view anger as a childish emotion. And if someone's being really angry with you, you can allow them to throw their punches, take out their anger, but choose to be the bigger person. Choose to be the adult in the situation and let them run themselves into the ground and look silly. Because imagine if the roles were reversed, you were being offhanded and rude towards somebody else. If they were just really, really calm and just being themselves, you would look like the bad person. So as long as you handle yourself well, you're never going to get treated badly. Of course, there's certain people that you want to avoid. Get yourself away from draining people that make you feel exhausted and drag you down, and get yourself around uplifting people. Also, it's important to point out the fact that at least 1 in 5 people are just rude. So there is rude people out there. And those rude people, they're never going to go away. So the key is not to let them control you and stop you from being happy and pursuing your purpose. The worst thing you can do is lock yourself in your room and say, well, because there's rude people out there that are critical, that aren't nice, that aren't supportive, I'm going to try and avoid those people at all costs. You'd have to live a life on eggshells in order to achieve this. So you can't stay indoors forever because you're worried about coming across rude people. Trust yourself to handle it with calmness. As long as you're calm and you don't react and feed their anger, you can never look bad. The next important thing to work on is not to judge yourself so harshly after social situations. This is a trap that I used to fall into. So after a period of social isolation in high school and college, I had social anxiety, of course. And when I was going to different socials as a fresher at university, quite often I'd be beating myself up after going to the social. Why was I so quiet? Why was I a pussy in that situation? And why didn't I speak up? How come other people, they're so much louder and more talkative than me? I would have this really negative, critical self-talk. But when I look back, it's clear for me to see that I was actually being really brave back then, because I'd spent so many years avoiding people, not trusting people. I was building my trust back up and putting myself out there. So the self-talk that was negative, that never helped me out. It doesn't matter if you go to a social and speak 100 times, 10 times, once, or 0 times. Doesn't matter. No self-judgment. A lot of the clients that I coach are naturally quiet. My default and tendency is to be very, very, very quiet. Although you probably wouldn't realize this if you met me, because I've done a lot of work on myself. When I'm coaching clients who are naturally quiet, my goal is to help them become more comfortable and confident being themselves. So I don't mind how many times they speak. It's all about the place it's coming from. If they're holding themselves back because they're afraid of being judged, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of rejection, failure, all these things, but they want to involve themselves more, then I'm going to give them a friendly push to speak more often and come out of their shell. But if they're genuinely relaxed and comfortable, speaking a little bit and listening a lot, that's totally fine. Whoever told you that you're supposed to become an extrovert, that person was lying to you. You're supposed to be yourself. Some people are naturally louder than others. What's important is that you're not being run by fear. Something which has helped out a number of my clients and me as well is to name the inner voice of fear. The inner demons that we all have, or the inner demon. If you're not careful, it can have a real grip over you and control your life. My client Liam, he's called his inner voice of fear Peter. And another client of mine, Ravi, he's called his voice James. He's picked a random name, someone that he doesn't know. So whenever the critical voice comes in, that self-judgment, the voice that beats you up, the inner bully, he goes, oh, it's James again. James is talking again. Naming the voice helps you identify the voice of fear, and in doing so, not identify yourself with it as strongly. You see yourself as separate to the voice of fear, and the voice of fear loses its power over you. Another great way to loosen the grip that your inner bully has over you is to call out the insults and the things that your inner bully says to another person who's supportive, that you can trust. Maybe a good friend, a family member, therapist, coach. Call out what your voice says. If your voice says you're ugly, you're rubbish, you're going to be stuck forever, you're never going to succeed, you might as well throw the towel in. Call out that dialogue to somebody that you trust. Because the reason that this voice of fear exists is to keep you safe. The voice of fear wants you to stay in your comfort zone, because if you're in your comfort zone, the risk of death is minimized. So it's a safety mechanism to keep you alive. So what the voice does is it creates narratives and stories, often lies, to try and keep you in that comfort zone. It's a bit like a puppet master, and you're the puppet, and it's trying to pull you back and keep you stuck. So it has all these lies to make you afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone and going for what you want in life. The last thing it wants is for its lies to be exposed. So when you start voicing your voice, you express what your voice is saying to another human being, the voice just loses its power over you. Imagine that your inner demon is a nettle. It's stinging you, making you really, really sore, feeling anxious, miserable, you're suffering. When you call it out to somebody that's supportive, that's like a dot leaf. Just takes the sting right out. So naming the voice really, really helps. Calling it out to somebody that you trust also helps. Another thing you can do is allow the voice to say its piece, but don't react to it. If the voice says you're going to go broke, say, okay, I'll go broke then. If the voice says you're going to be single forever, say, okay, I'll be single then. If it says you're really ugly and you're stupid, say, okay, I'm ugly, I'm stupid. When you allow it to say what it wants to say and you don't react to it, it loses its ability to control you. The reason that I'm talking about this voice of fear so much is that this is the ultimate bully. It's like all your worst, the worst imaginable bullies combined into one. It's like a multi-headed bully. And if you can learn to master dealing with this inner bully, you're going to have no problem dealing with different people. You're not going to allow yourself to get treated badly. Something kind of interesting that I've realized since starting the coaching is that there's 3 different ways you can respond to your inner voice of fear, the inner bully. You can be a people pleaser and you can try to please the bully. If the bully says, don't go for the promotion, you'll never get it, you can say, okay, sure, I won't go for the promotion, I'll just stick where I am and keep you happy. That's being a people pleaser. If you please the voice of fear at the expense of yourself, you're probably going to be a people pleaser with others in your life, as well as your inner bully. So reacting to it and trying to please it. Another extreme alternative is, this is what narcissists do. This is to react to the bully, but to react by becoming the bully. So it's to bite back. When the bully attacks you, you attack back in anger. The bully bites you and you bite back. That's what a narcissist would do. There is a third option, and I would say this is a good person and a strong person. The third option is allow the inner bully to say its piece, but be unreactive towards it and continue being yourself. So if inner bully says, you're stupid, you're a rubbish coach, say, okay, I'm stupid, I'm a rubbish coach, but I'm going to continue being myself regardless. So you're not trying to please the voice, you're not biting back, you're being classy and non-reactive. An angry person would look stupid if you remain calm and didn't react to them. So in other words, you respond to that inner voice the same way you would respond to a YouTube critic. You don't react. You're calm and classy. You're entitled to have your opinion. Thanks for sharing it with me, but I'm going to continue going my own way. An interesting side. So the inner voice of fear wants to keep you safe. It's trying to protect you, and it probably comes from your parents. There's other authority figures as well, but a lot of it comes from your parents. And your parents also want to keep you alive because you contain their DNA. So just like your voice of fear, your parents want to keep you in your comfort zone and in familiar territory because then you're going to be safe. And this is the case with a lot of quiet people who have overprotective parents, like myself. So my parents care about my safety, and that is prioritized above my mental health, happiness, etc. So, for example, when I built my coaching business, my inner voice of fear was saying, you're never going to succeed in building a coaching business. People won't want to pay for your mentorship, your coaching, your therapy. You're going to be stuck forever. Wasn't true. I built a successful full-time business that's still growing and expanding all the time. Just like my voice of fear, if I speak to my dad about the coaching business, he tries to encourage me to quit. Why not quit and just do a normal job like I've done? This is because he cares about my survival and he views something that is unfamiliar to him as a threat. He knows the regular 9 to 5 office job way of life. Being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, this is unfamiliar territory. So it's a threat, it's a safety risk. So it's safety first. But the problem with this safety first approach is that a lot of the fears are irrational. And if you caved into your fears, they would just run your life and you would be so miserable, have high levels of anxiety. Your comfort zone would shrink, you'd feel really limited, and you wouldn't be being yourself. You're not meant to be your parents, you're meant to be your own person. You're an adult. So your voice of fear, it's like carrying your parents around with you in your head all the time. And it's important to know that when it's being active, it's a sign of success because it means that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and growing. So it's triggered because it wants to keep you safe. It's like, oh wow, this guy, he's actually growing right now. He's in new territory. Best keep him in his comfort zone. Let's make him afraid of continuing to move forwards. Let's create a narrative or story to keep this person safe. Oh, there's no point in trying because you're going to be stuck. You might as well just throw the towel in and stick to what you know. Why learn something new? Why go for a promotion? Why not just stick with something regular that pays the bills? Why not just stay single? Why risk going out there trying to meet somebody when you can stay at home by yourself and be comfortable? That's what the voice of fear wants to do. It wants to control you. The more you learn to not identify with it, the more free you feel, the more confident you become, and the more successful you become. When you pursue your purpose in life, you just feel so much lighter, so much better. And also because you'll be playing to your strengths, you're going to be giving a lot more value to the world. So me, for example, in my case, So I am an empath, high levels of empathy, and I have a defender personality type. So when I see somebody else that is not being treated nicely, not being treated fairly, I stick up for that person. They're my natural instincts. So when you combine that with the fact that I've overcome social anxiety and depression, turned my mental health around, received a lot of mentorship, and really just transformed as a person, it makes me a natural when it comes to coaching. And when you play to your strengths, life's just so much better because you're giving a lot more value. You're putting out so much good karma and good energy into the world. And if you keep on going in this pursuit, you start to get back. So I feel super lucky because I've been getting a lot of awesome things coming into my life recently. Clients, sessions, podcast, so many great things. And I'm lucky. And it's because I've put out so much good energy, so much good karma, that things are coming back to me. Sometimes people can get frustrated when they're giving value and they're not seeing results. They're not seeing things come back to them. Usually this comes from impatience. When you're really, really patient and you just keep on going no matter what, you remove your own ego and your own fears to give more value. You will get back. You get lots of good things come into your life, but probably it will take longer than you're expecting. You may have to wait a bit. Guess that's why they say good things come to those who wait. So the title of this video, overcoming your fear of being treated badly, and finding more joy when socializing. So how do you actually achieve this? So you learn how to not identify with your voice of fear so strongly and handle yourself in a classy way in response to your own voice. So you basically allow it to say its piece, but keep on being yourself. And this is the training for how you can act around other people in social situations. You're not being pushed around and bullied, but you're also cooperative. Everybody's on the same team. You're putting out good energy and being yourself. Don't beat yourself up afterwards. And you also have to have a disciplined routine. So my client Liam, who I coached on Saturday, I basically went for a run with Liam. There's this thing called Park Run. So Park Run is a 5K run, which is free to do at 9 a.m. every Saturday, most cities in the UK. So on Saturday, I did Park Run with my client Liam. And there were several reasons for this. The first reason, I wanted him to get up early because he's been struggling with his routine, staying up late and then sleeping in. I wanted to keep him improving with his exercise. Exercise, cardio especially, does wonders for your confidence. You feel so much better about yourself after a workout. So I wanted to help Liam keep up his cardio. And after the 5K run, which lasts around 20 to 30 minutes, there's a coffee social for everybody at the park run. So part of the discipline routine for overcoming social anxiety and building confidence is to exercise at least 3 times a week, eat healthy, and go to 1 to 2 socials a week. So this killed 2 birds with 1 stone for Liam. The cardio followed by the social. The reason that it's so helpful to combine regular exercise with socializing in your routine is because before you go to a social, you probably feel some nerves of anticipation. You'll be thinking, oh man, if only it got cancelled. I just don't feel in the mood to go to this social right now. I got triggered recently, been going through some challenges. I'm not feeling at my best. I wish the social was next week rather than now. Your brain makes all the excuses in the world to try and talk you out of going to the social. When you push past that inner resistance and you go to the social, it's not that bad. And afterwards, you're really glad that you went. So the pattern is you dread it beforehand. When you're doing it, it's not that bad. Afterwards, you feel good and you feel more motivated. This same pattern, it's the same as when you exercise. Before you go for a run, you're not in the mood to go for a run. Probably you look outside like me and you'll think, it's raining, it's cold. I really don't feel like going for that run. If only I could put it off until tomorrow. But then you beat your procrastination, you go for a run, and afterwards you're really happy that you did it. So when you're exercising on a regular basis, you're beating your own inner resistance and you're getting more motivated. It's the same when you go to a social. You're beating that inner resistance where you don't feel in the mood to go to the social. You go to it and you feel happy that you went afterwards. And when you're beating this own inner resistance that we all have on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, just day in, day out, you build momentum. And when you keep on going with that momentum, it becomes easier to exercise and go to socials than to stay at home. You feel so much better afterwards. It looks after your mental health, and you'll realize that you're thriving in life rather than just coping. Don't be afraid of going to a social and underperforming. Going there and being quiet. Like, what if everybody there is really witty and clever? They're extroverts, and I'm just sat there listening, being really, really quiet. What if that's the case? Doesn't matter. Go anyway. All you have to do is turn up and be yourself. If you turn up and be yourself, you let your guard down and you incrementally get more confident. You're on the right path. You're actually being brave and growing. It's the inner resistance, the fear, the emotional blockages. That's what holds you back from achieving the success you want to achieve in life. And this is why so many people get help from therapists and mentors, because sticking to a disciplined routine isn't easy. You can do it for a few months, but to stick to it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that's a different ballgame. How long does it take to change your life? Realistically, somewhere between 6 months and 3 years. 6 months to 3 years is how long it takes to change your life. Quick results, don't expect them, but do expect continuous progress. There's no gimmicky shortcut, but in a period of several months, you can get notably more confident and notably less anxious. And when you know you're on the right path and you're making progress, you'll be motivated and happy. And as long as you stay on that path, you'll keep making progress and keep going further. So, in other words, have a disciplined routine. That's essential. start to loosen the grip that your inner voice has over you by naming it, calling it out, allowing it to say its piece without reacting. Keep on going. Don't overcomplicate it. And when you're in the socials with other people, focus on actually being yourself, being the real you, the authentic you. Don't worry about trying to please other people and live up to their standards. Be the person that you want to be. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to have anxiety. We all have that. I have that. I'm a coach. I have anxiety around people. But I succeed in spite of my anxiety. And I know that I can handle it. So I'm not afraid to feel the fear. And I'm not afraid to feel the anxiety. If you commit fully, you can get past those blockages and succeed anyway. Commitment is probably the single biggest factor. Actually, not probably. Commitment is the single biggest factor that determines the success of a client taking my coaching or anyone else's coaching for that matter. The more committed you are, the better your results. It requires a hell of a lot to really transform as a person and change your life. It's not easy. That's why most people fail. Most people fail on their own. And some people even fail with mentorship and support. So it requires a hell of a lot to really transform. I've succeeded. The vast majority of my clients have succeeded too. And this is why mentorship and coaching is so valuable, because that battle of you versus yourself is hard to win by yourself. If you've been trying to change your life for years on your own and you've not been getting the results that you wanted to get, it might be time to get mentorship. Might be time to reach out and get some support. I couldn't transform my life to the extent that I wanted by myself. I 100% made progress on my own. Massive progress through lots of hard work. But when I got support and mentorship, the growth was so much faster, so much better, and I wouldn't be in this position right now without mentorship. And the guy that mentored me, the guy that mentored me wouldn't be in his position without mentorship. Because changing who you are is like facing the fear of death. You only know what it's like to be you, and you're currently safe being you. So you smashing down your fears and being your authentic self, that's so hard to do, because there's a reason why you're not being that you right now. Maybe in the past around your parents, you was criticized a lot for being yourself. And you thought, do you know what? I can't be myself. I've got to go into hiding mode in order to stay safe. This is what a lot of people do. This is what I did. So I was closed off and in shutdown mode because I thought that it would be unsafe for me to be myself around other people. So if you have this belief that it's unsafe to be yourself, it's going to require support and help for you to learn to feel safe being yourself. If you get around a supportive group, that really, really helps. So for example, maybe you're looking to get more confident and you're thinking, how can I get myself into a social situation that's going to be positive and uplifting? What can I actually do? One thing you can do is look on the website meetup.com. There's loads of free socials going on all the time. Also, Eventbrite posts all kinds of networking events, coffee socials. There's quite a lot going on there. And people that go to these socials tend to be in the same boat as you. Quite a lot of them are. So lots of friendly people that are very open, easy to talk to. This definitely helps out. So get yourself down to different socials. If you can exercise, do a sport, join a running club, this is going to help too. Because people that are into regular exercise, positive, upbeat, uplifting people, and you getting around uplifting people and away from toxic people that are draining does wonders for your self-esteem. You'll feel like a changed person if you change the people that you hang around with. What helps as well, finding a mentor or coach, somebody that you trust, having really honest conversations where you choose to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and actually be yourself. Have open body language. A little trick that you can do to force yourself to be honest and be yourself is to make eye contact with the person that you're speaking to and keep the eye contact during the conversation. When you're thinking what to say next, your eyes dart around because you're going into your head and logically thinking, what should I say next in response to what this other person has said? But if you keep the eye contact and just trust, you have to actually listen to everything the other person says and naturally respond. It requires a lot of trust and bravery, but this means that the conversation just flows in the way that it's meant to flow. If there's supposed to be an awkward silence, there's supposed to be a silence right now. Two people really being themselves and connecting. A lot of vulnerability and strength is required to do this. A fear that some of my clients have when I tell them this exercise, they think that the other person will think that you're staring at them or being aggressive if you hold eye contact. This isn't the case. If you're an empathetic person, the other person will feel safe and they'll see that you're a kind person and they'll actually feel more comfortable. The reason that you have this fear is because there are aggressive people out there that do stare. But if you're an empathetic person, that's not you. And the fact that you're worried about intimidating other people, that means that you're an empathetic person. So make the eye contact and be yourself. People will see the real you. Also, having open body language helps as well. So you're not protecting yourself. You're not being closed off. And whatever happens in the conversation, you're going to get proof that you're safe being yourself. Even if the other person insults you, even if they ignore you, even if they're rude, what happens is your brain is seeing that you're safe being yourself around other people. This helps you to trust yourself, and the more safe you feel, the more confident you become, and the easier you find it to be yourself in future. So getting the reference experience and proof that you're safe being yourself around a whole bunch of different people, this is life-changing. And this is what I focus on when I'm coaching clients. I want them to feel safe around me and safe around other people. And of course, I'm not talking about being naive. I also teach my clients boundaries as well, to look after themselves so they can trust other people, but they have boundaries at the same time. If you're potentially interested in receiving my coaching, I offer pay-as-you-go Zoom coaching to people on YouTube and other social media platforms. The sessions cost £100 and last for an hour, and you get your first session for free. So a trial first session. If you're interested in receiving my coaching, which is talking therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and is focused on getting you to feel confident and safe, being yourself, building a disciplined routine which looks after your mental health, and having you pursue your purpose in life, break free from the fear, send me an email, philmorrison678@gmail.com, and I'll let you know available time slots in my calendar for the free session, so you can experience what my coaching is like before deciding if you want to do more sessions. Also, feel free to email me for any inquiries, or if you want to learn about my live events that I run on a monthly basis, currently in Birmingham. Hope that you got value from this live stream. Have an awesome rest of your day.